Director Sarah Chen stood at the window of the Global Defense Command Center, her reflection ghosting against the darkness beyond the reinforced glass. The massive ships of the Galactic Council hung in the sky like suspended silver teardrops, their hulls catching the first rays of dawn. 3 years of preparation, and still the sight made her breath catch in her throat. They're broadcasting on all frequencies, Lieutenant Rodriguez reported from his station. The Asteri representative is requesting immediate communication. Sarah straightened her uniform jacket, put them through to the main display. The holographic screen flickered to life, revealing Ambassador Lyra of the Asteri. The alien's crystalline form shed soft blue light across the command center. Like all Asteri, the ambassador's translucent body contained swirling patterns of light that shifted with their emotions, currently pulsing with what Sarah had learned to recognize as barely contained impatience. Director Chen, the ambassador's melodic voice carried an edge of steel. The Galactic Council has reached its decision regarding Earth's petition for full membership. Sarah kept her expression neutral, though her heart raced. Everything hinged on the next few moments. We appreciate the Council's thorough consideration of our application, Ambassador. The Council has determined that Earth's current technological development poses an unacceptable risk to galactic stability. The Ambassador's light patterns shifted to a deeper blue. You will surrender all quantum computing facilities, fusion reactors, and stellar drive technology. Earth will be placed under the protection and guidance of the Council until deemed ready for full participation in the galactic community. Sarah allowed herself a small frown. Ambassador, surely there's room for discussion. You have 2 planetary rotations to comply. The ambassador's form brightened intensely. The Council's decision is final. We will accept nothing less than full compliance. After the transmission ended, Sarah turned to her second-in-command. Status of Project Starburst. Commander Jackson pulled up a secure holographic display. All systems are in position. The quantum entanglement network is stable, and our hidden fleet reports ready status. We can initiate on your command. Sarah walked to the central strategic display, where a real-time model of the solar system showed the positions of the Council's ships. Dozens of capital ships, hundreds of support vessels, all running on standardized quantum systems that had never faced Earth's particular brand of innovation. Send the coded message to all cells, Sarah ordered. Operation Starburst begins in 48 hours. Until then, maintain the appearance of compliance preparation. As her staff rushed to execute their long-practiced roles, Sarah thought back to first contact, 3 years ago. The Council had arrived expecting to find another primitive species struggling with basic spaceflight. Instead, they'd discovered humanity had developed quantum technology along a completely different path than any other known civilization. The Council's fear of the unknown had led them to this moment. They couldn't accept that their perfect technology wasn't the only valid path forward. Now humanity would show them the value of thinking differently. Sarah activated her neural link to the secure command network. Around the world, other leaders and commanders received her message. The Council has played their hand exactly as predicted. Initiate survival protocol Dawn 1. Let's show them what humanity can do. In hidden bases across the solar system, humanity's secret fleet powered up their innovative hybrid drives. In quantum data centers throughout Earth, specialists prepared to launch their carefully crafted digital countermeasures. And in laboratories buried deep beneath the surface, scientists made final adjustments to technologies the Council had never imagined possible. The next 48 hours would change the galaxy forever. Humanity wasn't about to surrender their independence. They were about to prove that being different wasn't the same as being inferior. Sarah Chen smiled as she watched the Council ships looming overhead, completely unaware of what awaited them. Sometimes the best advantage was being underestimated. Dr. Maya Patel's fingers danced across the holographic interface, weaving digital structures that shouldn't exist. Deep beneath the Himalayan mountains, in a quantum computing facility unknown to the Galactic Council, she and her team were about to launch humanity's most ambitious digital endeavor. Final diagnostics on Project Starweaver are complete, she announced, her voice echoing through the cavernous chamber. All nodes report ready status. Around her, dozens of quantum specialists monitored their stations, each managing a different aspect of the vast digital web they'd spent years weaving through the Council's networks. The plan had been audacious, using Earth's unique approach to quantum computing to infiltrate systems the Council considered impenetrable. Message from Director Chen. Her assistant, James Wong, called out. The Council gave their ultimatum. We have 47 hours until initiation. Maya nodded, pulling up the master control interface. Begin final sequence checks. I want every strand of Starweaver tested before we go live. The holographic display expanded, showing the full scope of their creation. While the Council's quantum systems operated on perfectly ordered principles, humanity had discovered something different: the power of controlled chaos. Their quantum computers embraced uncertainty, using it to create processing patterns that the Council's rigid systems couldn't predict or detect. Dr. Patel, a voice called from the Neural Security Station. The Council's ships are scanning again. Their quantum pulses are getting closer to detecting our deep layer protocols. Maya smiled. Let them look. They're searching for mirrors of their own technology. They'll never find what we've built because they don't believe it's possible. She remembered the day, 2 years ago, when they'd made the breakthrough. While testing communications with the Council's networks, they discovered that Earth's quantum systems could inject small irregularities that the Council's perfect order couldn't process. Those irregularities had become their Trojan horse, carrying Starweaver deep into the heart of the Council's defense grid. All teams, initiate final countdown, Maya ordered. Begin power-up sequence for the quantum corridors. The facility hummed with increasing energy as the massive quantum processors spun up to full capacity. On her display, Maya watched as the hidden strands of Starweaver began to resonate, preparing for activation. A priority message flashed across her screen. Text only, maximum security. The Asteri are scanning the quantum spectrum for signs of surrender preparation. Give them something to find. Chen. James, Maya called. Initiate protocol mirror. Let's show our friends in orbit exactly what they expect to see. Throughout the facility, secondary systems began powering down, creating the impression of a quantum computing center preparing for decommission. The deception had to be perfect. The Council's sensors would detect the shutdown, exactly as planned. Meanwhile, the true heart of their operation pulsed silently, hidden behind layers of quantum uncertainty that the Council's rigid systems would interpret as background noise. Every scan they conducted would reinforce their belief that Earth was surrendering. Maya touched the small quantum crystal hanging around her neck, a gift from her mentor, who'd first theorized that quantum computing could evolve along different paths. The Council believed their way was the only way. In 47 hours, they would learn otherwise. Dr. Patel, James reported, we're receiving confirmation signals. All other quantum facilities worldwide are synchronized with Starweaver. We're ready. Maya took a deep breath, watching the intricate dance of quantum particles across her display. Humanity had spent 3 years preparing for this moment, weaving a web of digital innovation that would change the galaxy forever. Send word to Director Chen, she ordered. Project Starweaver is armed and ready. When the time comes, we'll show the Council that perfection isn't everything. Sometimes a little chaos is exactly what you need. Above them, through kilometers of rock and steel, the Council's ships continued their scans, their superior technology searching for threats they couldn't imagine. In less than 2 days, they would learn that true innovation comes from embracing the unexpected. Commander David Santos watched the lunar shadow creep across his tactical display. From his position aboard the Liberty Station, camouflaged within a cluster of defunct satellites, he had a perfect view of the Council's fleet. Their massive ships hung in perfect formation, silver giants against Earth's blue sphere. 5 minutes to shadow alignment, his tactical officer reported. All stealth systems functioning at optimal levels. David touched the neural interface at his temple, connecting to the station's secure network. Status report from all sectors. The responses came in rapid succession. Earth's quantum facilities powering down exactly as the Council demanded, military bases beginning their scheduled weapon surrenders, and governments worldwide announcing their acceptance of Council protection. Everything proceeding according to plan. New transmission from the Council flagship. Communications announced. The Asteri ambassador is expressing satisfaction with Earth's compliance. David allowed himself a small smile. I'm sure they are. Link me to Director Chen. Sarah Chen's hologram appeared in his command center. Commander Santos, are you in position? Yes, Director. Liberty Station is ready. The Council's sensors haven't detected us through our quantum shroud. Good. Dr. Patel reports Starweaver is primed for activation. Remember, timing is everything. The moment we launch our counter, the Council will know they've been deceived. David nodded, watching the lunar shadows progress. 3 minutes to optimal position. All hidden fleet elements report ready status. The plan was precision itself. When Earth's shadow aligned perfectly with the lunar surface, it would create a momentary quantum interference pattern, one that would mask the massive energy surge of Starweaver's activation. 2 minutes, his tactical officer called out. Council ships maintaining standard patrol patterns. David opened a secure channel to all hidden fleet elements. This is Commander Santos. Final confirmation for Operation Starburst. Prepare for immediate action on my mark. The responding signals flashed green across his display. Throughout the solar system, humanity's concealed forces waited for his command. 3 years of preparation, of sacrifice and secrecy, all coming down to this moment. 1 minute to shadow alignment. David watched the Council ships, their quantum shields glimmering with artificial perfection. They had no idea their supposedly flawless systems were about to encounter something they'd never been designed to handle: human innovation. 30 seconds. Sarah Chen's hologram stood silent, watching the countdown with him. Around the command center, his crew worked with focused intensity, each person knowing their role in the coming storm. 10 seconds. 9. 8. David took a deep breath. Initiate quantum shroud dissolution. Prepare for full power activation. 5. 4. 3. All stations, battle positions. 2. 1. Execute Operation Starburst. Activate Starweaver. The command center erupted into action. Through his neural link, David felt the massive surge of power as Dr. Patel's quantum web awakened. The Council's networks, perfectly ordered and utterly unprepared, encountered their first taste of controlled chaos. On his tactical display, he watched as the Council's ships suddenly lurched, their formation breaking as their quantum systems encountered patterns they couldn't process. Emergency signals flashed between their vessels as they tried to understand what was happening. Starweaver penetration successful, his tech officer reported. Council defense networks experiencing cascading disruptions. Their quantum shields are fluctuating. Sarah Chen's hologram smiled. Phase 1 complete. Commander Santos, you may proceed with Phase 2. David nodded, sending the signal to all hidden fleet elements. Throughout the solar system, humanity's ships powered up their hybrid drives, preparing to reveal themselves. Let's show the Council what humanity can really do, he said, watching as the perfect order of their fleet dissolved into confusion. All units, execute attack pattern Delta. The symphony has begun. Above Earth, the Council's mighty armada was about to learn a crucial lesson. Sometimes the most dangerous opponent isn't the one with the most advanced technology, but the one who thinks differently about how to use it. Captain Michelle Torres watched her tactical display as thousands of green dots emerged from hiding, humanity's secret fleet revealing itself at last. Her ship, the Shadow Dancer, broke free from its concealment within an asteroid's crater, joining the coordinated emergence of Earth's defenders. All systems online, her first officer reported. Hybrid drives functioning at peak efficiency. The Council's quantum sensors still can't get a lock on us. Michelle smiled as she watched the Council's massive dreadnoughts trying to track her vessel. The Shadow Dancer, like all ships in Earth's hidden fleet, used a revolutionary propulsion system that combined traditional chemical thrust with controlled quantum fluctuations. To the Council's advanced sensors, they appeared as little more than background noise. "Status report from all squadrons," she ordered, guiding her ship through a graceful arc around a confused Council cruiser. Phoenix Squadron engaging targets near Mars. Thunderbolt Squadron moving to protect the lunar bases. Storm Squadron beginning their run on the Council's support ships. The tactical display told a story the Council's commanders couldn't yet comprehend. Their mighty warships, each the size of a small city, were being harassed by vessels they could barely detect. Earth's fleet danced through their formation like shadows through sunlight. "Message from Commander Santos," her communications officer called out. "The Council's flagship is attempting to coordinate a response. We're to proceed with Phase 3. Michelle nodded, activating her neural link to address her squadron. "Lightning Squadron, form up on my position. Time to show them our special trick." The Shadow Dancer led 12 ships in a precise formation, weaving between the Council's capital ships. Their hybrid drives left trails of quantum distortion that the Council's sensors interpreted as system malfunctions. "Council vessels attempting to lock weapons," Tactical reported. "Their targeting systems are still compromised by Starweaver. They can't get a clean shot." Through her view screen, Michelle watched a Council dreadnought fire its main weapon array, the energy beams passing harmlessly through the space her ship had occupied microseconds before. The Council's targeting computers, designed to track ships using quantum signatures, couldn't adjust to purely physical movement. "Lightning Squadron, execute Maneuver Sunburst," she commanded. "Let's give them something new to think about." Her squadron split into pairs, each duo spiraling around the nearest Council ship. Their hybrid drives created overlapping fields of quantum interference, causing the massive vessel's shields to flicker and fail. "Council ships breaking formation," Tactical announced with satisfaction. "Their fleet cohesion is falling apart." Michelle guided the Shadow Dancer through a series of elegant maneuvers, leading her squadron in a deadly dance around the confused Council vessels. Earth's smaller ships might lack the raw power of the Council's weapons, but they made up for it with speed, agility, and innovation. "New orders from Command," her first officer reported. "Director Chen wants us to push them toward the outer system. The next phase is ready." "Understood." Michelle opened a channel to all nearby squadrons. "All units, initiate herding pattern Delta. Drive them away from Earth. Make them chase shadows." The combined Earth fleet moved with practiced precision, their seemingly random attacks forming a careful pattern. Like shepherds guiding a flock, they drove the Council's ships exactly where they wanted them. "Council vessels attempting to regroup," Tactical reported. "They're trying to adapt their sensors to track us." Michelle smiled. "Let them try. By the time they figure out how to find us, we'll have changed the rules again." The Shadow Dancer spun through space, leading its squadron in another intricate attack pattern. Above and below, Earth's hidden fleet continued its elegant harassment of the Council's mighty armada, proving that sometimes the greatest strength lies not in overwhelming power, but in being impossible to pin down. "Send word to Command," Michelle ordered. "Tell them Phase 3 is proceeding as planned. The Council's ships are dancing to our tune now." Ambassador Lyra's crystalline form pulsed with angry red light as she addressed the emergency session of the Galactic Council. The holographic chamber displayed representatives from all 47 member species, their images flickering as Starweaver continued to disrupt their quantum networks. "This deception cannot go unpunished," she declared, her usually melodic voice sharp with fury. "Earth has demonstrated exactly why primitive species cannot be trusted with advanced technology." "Perhaps," countered Delegate Sin of the Nexus, their serpentine form coiling thoughtfully, "they have demonstrated why our assumptions about primitive technology need revision." The chamber erupted in overlapping voices and electromagnetic pulses as the council members argued. Director Chen watched the feed from Earth's command center, studying the political battle unfolding alongside the physical one. The Nexus delegation is playing their part perfectly, Commander Santos noted through their secure channel. Our intelligence was correct about their dissatisfaction with Asteri leadership. Sarah nodded, watching as more council members began questioning the Asteri's handling of the situation. How are our ships performing? Captain Torres reports all squadrons operating at peak efficiency. The Council's fleet is still struggling to adapt to our hybrid drive signatures. On the main display, Ambassador Lyra's light patterns shifted to deep crimson. I move for immediate authorization of maximum response protocols. We must crush this rebellion before. Before what? Interrupted Delegate Sin. Before other species realize there might be different paths to technological advancement. The humans aren't using stolen technology. They've developed something new. Something we never considered possible. Sarah smiled as she watched the council chamber divide into factions. Their perfect unity was cracking, just as planned. 3 years of careful diplomatic intelligence had identified the species who chafed under the council's rigid technological orthodoxy. Message from Dr. Patel, her assistant reported. Starweaver has detected encrypted communications between the Nexus ships and several other council vessels. They're discussing breaking formation. Right on schedule, Sarah murmured. She opened a secure channel to Maya's quantum facility. Begin Phase 4. Let's give our potential allies something to think about. In the council chamber, Delegate Sin continued their argument. The humans have proven that our standardized approach to quantum technology has left us vulnerable. Their hybrid systems are effectively invisible to our sensors. Perhaps instead of punishment, we should be discussing collaboration. Blasphemy. Ambassador Lyra's form blazed with light. You suggest we abandon millennia of proven technological development. I suggest we learn from this experience. Sin replied calmly. The humans have achieved something remarkable. Their quantum technology follows different principles than ours, yet it clearly works. What else might we learn if we open our minds to alternative approaches? Sarah watched as more council members began signaling agreement with the Nexus position. The seeds of doubt they'd carefully planted over the past 3 years were finally blooming. Director, Commander Santos called urgently. We're detecting power spikes from the Asteri vessels. They may be preparing to act unilaterally. Inform all squadrons to maintain current positions, Sarah ordered. Let's see how many council ships follow the Asteri's lead, and how many don't. On the display, Ambassador Lyra made one final demand. All council vessels are ordered to commence full military response against Earth forces. The resulting silence spoke volumes. Less than half of the council fleet acknowledged the order. Send word to Captain Torres, Sarah commanded. Tell her to prepare for Phase 4. The council is about to learn another lesson about humanity. We know how to make friends as well as trouble. The galactic balance of power was shifting, one quantum fluctuation at a time. Sometimes the greatest victories came not from winning fights, but from changing minds. Dr. Maya Patel's hands flew across her quantum interface as warning signals flashed across her displays. The Asteri ships are powering up their main weapon arrays. They're preparing for a full assault. Through the secure channel, Director Chen's voice remained calm. Time until Phase 4 is ready. 3 minutes. Captain Torres has our fleet in position, but we need the council ships exactly aligned for maximum effect. In orbit, the Shadow Dancer led its squadron in an intricate series of maneuvers, drawing the aggressive Asteri vessels into a precise formation. Other council ships hung back, their crews uncertain which side to support. 2 minutes to quantum pulse synchronization, Maya announced, watching the energy patterns build in her hidden network. Starweaver is maintaining disruption of their targeting systems. Commander Santos' hologram appeared beside her station. The Nexus ships are broadcasting their refusal to participate in the attack. 12 other council species have joined their position. Maya nodded, making final adjustments to the quantum pulse generators. They had one chance to get this right. The technology was experimental, developed in secret by combining Earth's innovative quantum approach with traditional electromagnetic principles. 1 minute, she called out. All pulse generators report ready status. Through her neural link, she felt the massive energy build up across Earth's hidden quantum network. Each generator had been carefully positioned throughout the solar system, waiting for this moment. Asteri ships launching primary attack wave, Santos reported. Energy weapons powering up. Director Chen's voice cut through the tension. Execute Phase 4. Show them what humanity's really capable of. Maya took a deep breath and initiated the sequence. Quantum pulse deploying in 3, 2, 1. Mark. Across the solar system, dozens of hidden generators activated simultaneously. The pulse they created wasn't the crude electromagnetic weapon the Council might have expected from primitive humanity. Instead, it was a precisely tuned quantum wave that interfaced directly with their standardized systems. Pulse impact in 5 seconds, Maya announced, watching the wave spread across her display. All Council ships entering the affected zone. The effect was instantaneous. The Asteri vessels, committed to their attack run, suddenly went dark as their quantum systems encountered patterns they were never designed to process. Their perfect technology, unable to adapt to the chaotic pulse, simply shut down. Multiple Council ships reporting complete system failures, Santos called out. Their quantum cores are offline. Emergency power only. Maya allowed herself a small smile as she watched the results cascade across her display. Years of theoretical work, countless simulations, and endless refinements had led to this moment. Status report from Captain Torres, Chen requested. The Shadow Dancer Squadron reports all Earth vessels functioning normally. Maya responded. Our hybrid systems are immune to the pulse effects. On her tactical display, she watched as the disabled Asteri ships drifted helplessly. The Council vessels that had sided with the Nexus position maintained a safe distance, their crews undoubtedly reassessing their assumptions about Earth's capabilities. Dr. Patel. Director Chen's voice carried a note of pride. Please inform all stations that Phase 4 is complete. Begin preparation for Phase 5. Maya sent the acknowledgement, then opened a channel to all Earth's quantum facilities. The pulse worked exactly as designed. Humanity's path of quantum development may be different from the Council's, but today we prove different doesn't mean inferior. Through her neural link, she felt the satisfaction of her teams worldwide. They had taken humanity's unique understanding of quantum mechanics and turned it into something revolutionary, not by following the Council's rigid patterns, but by embracing new possibilities. Send word to Commander Santos, she instructed her staff. Tell him the quantum pulse network is cycling for a second charge. If the Asteri want another demonstration, we'll be ready. Above Earth, the Council's mighty warships floated powerless in space, living proof that sometimes the most effective weapon isn't the biggest or most advanced. It's the one your opponent never saw coming. Lieutenant Emma Chen's instruments detected the energy surge before anyone else. Working in the solar observation post hidden within Mercury's orbit, she had a front-row seat to the impossible. Director, she called through the quantum channel, trying to keep her voice steady. Something's happening to the sun. Sarah Chen, no relation, appeared as a hologram beside her station. Show me. Emma projected her readings onto the shared display. The Asteri vessels are generating some kind of quantum field. It's interfacing directly with the sun's magnetic field structure. They're deploying the Star Forge. Commander Santos' hologram joined them, his expression grim. Intelligence warned us about this possibility. Through her specialized instruments, Emma watched in horror as the sun's surface began to ripple with unusual patterns. The Asteri ships, though still partially disabled from the quantum pulse, had activated devices that shouldn't have existed outside of theoretical physics. All stations, Director Chen broadcast, execute Protocol Helios. This is not a drill. Emma's fingers flew across her console, activating the secret systems built into her observation post. Around the sun, dozens of similar stations revealed themselves, emerging from carefully maintained stealth fields. "Solar acceleration detected," she reported. "The Starforge is attempting to artificially age our sun. At this rate, we have maybe 30 minutes before irreversible stellar damage occurs." Ambassador Lyra's transmission cut across all frequencies, her crystalline form blazing with triumph. "Surrender immediately, or watch your star burn through a century of fuel in a single hour. Your primitive defenses cannot possibly counter this technology." Director Chen's response was calm. "Dr. Patel, are we ready?" "Yes, Director." Maya's hologram appeared, holding a complex quantum diagram. "The solar defense grid is online. Emma, prepare to initiate the magnetic resonance sequence." Emma's hands trembled slightly as she entered the activation codes. The observation posts around the sun had never been tested at full power. They couldn't be, without revealing their existence to the Council. "Stellar shield activating," she announced. "Quantum-enhanced magnetic fields responding exactly as simulated." The space around the sun shimmed as hundreds of advanced satellites generated overlapping fields of electromagnetic energy, guided by the same innovative quantum principles that had created the hybrid drives and Starweaver. "The Asteri are increasing power to the Star Forge," Santos warned. "They're trying to overload our defenses." Emma watched her readings spike. "Shield harmonics holding. The magnetic resonance is actually growing stronger than predicted. It's learning from their attack patterns." Maya's hologram smiled. "Just as designed. Their quantum field is providing energy for our magnetic resonance. The more they push, the stronger our defense becomes." The sun's surface began to stabilize as Earth's protective network absorbed and redirected the Starforge's energy. Around the solar observation posts, space itself seemed to ripple with competing quantum fields. "Impossible." Ambassador Lyra's transmission carried genuine shock. "Your technology is barely past the atomic age. You cannot have developed quantum-enhanced stellar manipulation." "We developed something better," Director Chen replied. "We learned to work with natural forces instead of trying to dominate them." "Emma, show them what humanity's solar research can really do." Emma initiated the final sequence, and the network of satellites began to pulse in perfect harmony. The quantum-enhanced magnetic fields didn't just block the Starforge's effects, they reversed them, using the Council's own energy to strengthen the sun's natural magnetic field. "Starforge effect neutralized," she reported with pride. Solar readings returning to normal. Through her viewport, Emma watched the Council's superweapons sputter and fail, overwhelmed by the elegant simplicity of Earth's defensive system. They had turned their greatest weakness, their star's relative instability, into their greatest strength. "Send word to all stations," Director Chen commanded. "Phase 7 complete. Prepare for final operations. It's time to show the Council that true advancement comes in many forms." The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council had never seen anything like this session. Representatives from all 47 species gathered, but this time Earth held a seat at the table. Director Sarah Chen stood at the central podium, her image projected alongside the crystalline form of Ambassador Lyra and the serpentine presence of Delegate Sin. "The events of the past week have demonstrated something profound," Sarah began, her voice carrying across the quantum-linked chamber. "Progress doesn't follow a single path." Behind her, holographic displays showed the combined fleet of Earth and Council vessels working together to restore stability to the solar system. The Shadow Dancer flew in formation with Nexus ships, their crews sharing knowledge about their different approaches to space travel. "Humanity developed quantum technology along a different route than the Council," Sarah continued. "We didn't reject your principles, we found another way to reach similar goals. And in doing so, we discovered possibilities you hadn't considered." Dr. Maya Patel's hologram appeared, displaying the intricate patterns of Starweaver alongside traditional Council quantum networks. "Our systems don't conflict with yours. They complement them. Together, they're stronger than either would be alone." The chamber hummed with discussion as council members studied the technical data. Captain Torres, coordinating the combined fleet operations, sent real-time footage of Earth's hybrid drives working in harmony with Council quantum engines. "The Starforge taught us all a valuable lesson," Sarah said, nodding toward Ambassador Lyra. "Your scientists created it to enforce order, but its power was countered not by superior force, but by a different way of thinking about stellar mechanics." Lieutenant Emma Chen's solar defense grid data appeared, showing how Earth's magnetic resonance technology had protected the Sun. Several Council species were already discussing adaptations of the system to help stabilize their own stars. Ambassador Lyra's crystalline form shifted through several colors before settling into a peaceful blue. "Perhaps we have been too rigid in our definition of advancement. The humans have shown us that innovation can come from unexpected directions, which is why we propose a new structure for the Galactic Council." Delegate Sin added, their coils shifting in agreement, one that values diversity of thought and approach, where different paths to advancement are studied and shared, not suppressed. Commander Santos transmitted the final reports from the combined fleet exercises. Earth's vessels had taught Council ships to be more unpredictable in combat, while Council engineers helped improve the efficiency of hybrid drive systems. "We don't need to fear different approaches to technology," Sarah concluded. "What we witnessed wasn't a victory of one system over another, but proof that the galaxy is large enough for many paths forward." The chamber erupted in approval. Species that had long accepted the Council's technological orthodoxy now saw new possibilities. Earth's example had shown them that progress didn't require conformity. Midas quantum networks were already being studied by Council scientists, while Earth's engineers learned from the elegant efficiency of Council systems. The Shadow Dancers crew exchanged tactical innovations with their former opponents, each side growing stronger through collaboration. "Let this be remembered," Delegate Sin announced, "as the moment when the galaxy truly began to advance, not through dominance of one way of thinking, but through the recognition that diversity breeds innovation." Sarah looked out at the assembled representatives, seeing hope and curiosity replace fear and rigid tradition. Humanity had earned its place among the stars not by being the strongest or most advanced, but by showing that different didn't mean inferior. "The vote is called," Ambassador Lyra declared, her crystal form glowing with all the colors of the spectrum, "for the establishment of the new Galactic Coalition, where all paths of progress are welcomed and shared." The chamber lit up with approval signals from every species. Above Earth, the combined fleet arranged itself in a new formation, not in ranks of authority, but in a spiral of cooperation, each ship contributing its unique strengths to the whole. A new era had begun, proving that sometimes the greatest advancement comes not from perfecting a single path, but from discovering how many paths can lead forward together.